Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into the third summer 2024 update from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go again. It's time to bring you more summer data. We're going to be just something a little bit different with this one. It's a bit of a stratospheric warming special. So we're going to be looking at summers following SSWs, some stratospheric warming events in March. So I should get on that for you in a second. Let's say something a little bit different for this one, and that's coming up in March. We'll just say that first. Video release here was our 6am UK weather forecast, and we're going to be live at 6pm with our 10 to 14 day. It's a Sunday live stream, so that means we're going to bring some long range to you as well. So we'll have long range included in our Sunday stream, and that will be coming up at 6pm. Thank you so much to Richard for our amazing summer updates too. Give. Thank you so much, Richard. Make sure to Shrine as well, as with the first summer updates give. This one is also based on a Shrine Brewing photo. Oh, thank you so much to Shrine for your amazing pictures and artwork and photos. Thank you so much, Richard, for the gift. And who is that having a look? Looks like I'm going to having a sneaky peeky there, doesn't he? Is that Gav? Who is that? Let me know in the comments who you think that is, having a sneaky peeky on the far left-hand corner of the picture there. I wonder. Might be Richard. Is it Shrine? I don't know. Who is that? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so to Richard. Thank you so to Shrine for the gift. And thank you so to Shrine, of course, for helping with the analog years as well. Right, so let's begin with the third summer 2024 update, shall we say. There's going to be a bit of a Strat special, so as it's a Strat special, we've got to have a look at what's going on currently in the stratosphere at 10:08pm, 60 degrees north over the Arctic and North Pole. So a very disorganised polar vortex now. We've got, so over top of the pole itself, actually relatively warm. We've still got some cooler areas here in the North Atlantic and again across northern parts of America. Over the next week or two, not a lot happening really. I think most of the major developments for this season have now taken place. It's just a case now of just waiting for the polar vortex to completely die a death. That will probably happen at the end of April, I would have thought, into early May. That's usually when you get the final sort of death of the PB. But between now and then, the PB looks very weak, disorganised, you know, not going nowhere fast and whatnot. So we confirm that we are still having a major southern stratospheric warming event at 60 degrees north, 10:08pm over the Arctic and the North Pole. This is from Weather is Cool. So this is depicting the zonal wind. See how the zonal wind has dropped out through March reverse in the opening days of the month. And is now at a very low level, hovering around -20. Something like that. So that tells us that the southern stratospheric warming event is ongoing. It continues. It's been a major and significant reversal of zonal winds, long-lasting reversal of zonal winds, but we've seen here through this month of March. We put in the GFS ensembles. We can see that by the end of March, the zonal wind is forecast to start going weakly positive. But it will only be very weak, of course, due to time of year, you know, due to the fact that we'll be well on into the spring at that point. So a major southern stratospheric warming event has taken place at 10:08pm, 60 degrees north over the Arctic and the North Pole. This has happened in the month of March. So for our analogues, we are going to be looking at summers that follow major SSWs in March. Very simple. Thank you to Shrine for sorting out these years for us. Starting off with summer of 1969. So this one did follow major SSW in March of 1969, and this one again with high pressure in Scandinavia down into the north and the west of Europe as well, and we have lower pressure away to our south and southeast. The winds tend to be coming in from an easterly direction. That's quite a warm, dry summer, 1969. Quite a decent summer, full of beer. I mean, by modern standards, no one would get particularly excited about the summer of 1969, I don't think. But back in the era, which was an era of generally very cool, wet, miserable summers in the 1960s, that one stands out as being rather on the warmer side, particularly so in July of 1969. We've got 1971, which is a bit of a nondescript summer, has some higher pressure out in the Atlantic, lower pressure to the south. Looks a bit cool and mixed, I think, that one, following March SSW in 1971. 10-year gap then to 1981, so March 1981 did indeed include a SSW. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. Yes, March 1981 did indeed include an SSW in that month. The summer of 1981 is a dry and coolish sort of summer, with higher pressure tending to be out to our west a little bit, and around that we bring the wind in from the north. So a lot of dry weather in this summer. Not too bad at all, in terms of usual dry weather. Just rather a lot of cloudy, nondescript days, and not a lot going on, really, in that particular summer in 1981. And now I've got 1988. This is a really bad summer. Look away now. If you don't want one of the worst Julys on record, because this is one of the coolest and wettest Julys of the 20th century. So a very wet, very miserable summer there in 1988. I don't think it starts off too bad, but it does get worse and worse as it goes along. And I say particularly notably bad in July of 1988, a cool wet summer there following a March sudden stratospheric warming event. Got the summer of 2000, which shows up next, with higher pressure in the North Atlantic, lower pressure is to both our south and east. This one is also quite a mixed summer, a lot warmer than 1988, so it does have that going for it, and probably not quite as wet either, or not as wet as 1988, but it is still quite a mixed sort of summer with a little bit of everything. There are a few heat waves, a few heat spikes going on during this summer, often quite humid, often quite warm, but also often quite overcast and wet and whatnot. So a warm mixed summer for 2000. We've got 2010, which is a proper front-loaded summer. Now, the analogues doesn't tell you a great deal about this summer. It just has a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland and Iceland. You'll think it's very northerly summer, but I don't think it is particularly. So we get a very dry and very, very warm June in 2010, lasting to the beginning of July. Then it breaks. July turns cooler and more unsettled, and it all sort of climaxes, all culminates in a very cool and very wet August in 2010, with August 2010 being a really unsettled bump. A classic front-loaded summer there in 2010, following March SSW in March of 2010. And then the last year is 2016. Now, this is a little bit of a different one due to the fact that this was actually the final warming as well. So this SSW that occurs in March 2016 is also the final warming of the season. So once the zone wind reversed in March 2016, it just stayed in reverse then throughout the rest of the spring, which is very early and very, very unusual. I think it's a record-breaking early reversal of not reversal zone wind, but record-breaking final warming, if you get what I mean. So the summer of 2016 looks like that. High pressure just to our south and southwest. This is more of a backloaded summer, so it has quite a cool, unsettled June in 2016. Then it starts picking up as we go through July. And we get quite a warm, dry August, actually, and it lasts well into September as well, with some very, very hot days into September 2016. I'm sure you remember the temperature getting to the mid-30s Celsius in 2016 in September, but also there was some very violent thunderstorms as well. So that's like a classic back-loaded summer. So I've got a front-loaded summer for 2010, got a back-loaded summer for 2016. Right, let's put all that together then and see how all Junes combined are coming out following a March sudden stratospheric warming event. Now, June tends to have an anticyclonic signal, with Azores High ridging in from Western Europe. Low pressure tend to be across the continent, so it looks more unsettled signal to the continent. But for us, probably quite a lot of dry weather with that, and I would have thought relatively warmish signal as well. All July's combined following March Southern Stratospheric Warming event with low pressure to the north, high pressure is out to west and to the southwest. Winds coming in from like a northwesterly direction, so rather cooler and more showery signal, I would suspect, with those Julys. Bear in mind, it does have 1988 included, which might be skewing things a little bit, because that was a noteworthily bad July. But nevertheless, I think probably a deterioration from June to July with more of a cooler, showery type signal. However, August picks up again. So this is how all August combined are looking following March Southern Stratospheric Warming events. It looks like the high pressure kind of comes back and starts meandering back in from the Atlantic then, so turning drier potentially, and also a little bit warmer signal for the August there. And this is how all summers combined are looking following March Southern Stratospheric Warming events. And it's an anticyclonic signal, so not too bad. Really higher pressure, often over to west of the country, which means it's a cooler sort of signal for the wind direction, more of a westerly or a northwesterly type wind direction. But nevertheless, with a high pressure coast of the country, a relatively dryish and also reasonably warmish type signal for those summers following March Southern Stratospheric Warming events. Now, of course, you can get two different types of SSW. We know you can get either displacement event or split events. So we've also got to have a look at this by type, whether it's a displacement or a split. So this is how all Junes combined are looking following March Southern Stratospheric warming events, which are displacement types. The SSW we're having, is a sorry once more, everybody, is a displacement type event rather than a split type. So keep that in mind. These are probably the most relevant years, therefore. So, but displacement types are 1969, 1971, 1981, and 2000. Very different June signal with the displacement types, you'll notice. Much more in the way of lower pressure there. So, yes, definitely a rather more showery and cooler signal for the all Junes combined following displacement SSW type. All July combined more anticyclonic with higher pressure tending to come in from off the Atlantic, so a drier signal and probably a warmer signal too for the Julys. And the August don't look too bad either. This is how all August combined are looking following displacement type SSW events. Again, higher pressure tending to be in the North Atlantic and into the North and the West of Europe. So after a dodgy, cooler, showery June, it looks like the summer picks up and gets going through July and August. This is how all summers combined are looking following displacement type SSW events. In March, with higher pressure over to west of the country, is an anticyclonic signal. Bear in mind, June is rather different though. And just, although it probably isn't relevant for this year, just so that we have things nicely rounded off, this is how all Junes combined look following a split type event. And this includes 1988, 2010, and 2016. I was very surprised about this. Though it's a very strong signal for high pressure in the Junes following a split type event. What would account for the difference, between displacement and split type for June to be so different? I'm not sure really, but I was quite surprised how the analog came out, but that's how it does come out. Bear in mind, it is a relatively small sample of years though, this, for both displacement and particularly both for split type events. But anyway, it's an anticyclonic, a warm, maybe quite hot signal for the Junes. July flips it around completely. This looks very much like 2010, I have to say, because we've got 1988 in there as well. So we turn very unsettled and very unsettled, deep low pressure and wet, cool signal for July. And then August, not much better really, following a split type event with trough of low pressure to the northeast blocking around Green. I've got a bit of high pressure from the Azores as well, but overall, after that warm, dry June, the feeling is very much for July and August to be significantly more unsettled. And that's how summer's combined, not following March SSW split type events, with higher pressure tending to be to the west and to the northwest. You don't really see much of low pressure, but it's most evident in July, also around in August as well. So, a front-loaded summer signal definitely there, with June to be the warmest and the driest month. Okay, so that's quite interesting, wasn't it? Something a little bit different for the summer update number 3 this week. Thank you so much to Shrine sorting out all of those years. Thank you so much to Rich and Shrine for the gift bear as well. Thank you so much to #TeamGav, doing a fantastic job as always. If you enjoyed this third summer update, I think it's been quite an interesting one, this one, something a bit different. If you enjoyed it, then bring you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much. And we'll be back with summer update number 4 next week. Well, we're going to be live at 6 p.m, so we'll be doing our 10 to 14 day and including some long range. If you've got any questions about this summer update, then please fire away. Let me know what you think on the stream about the third summer update. And for the third summer 2024 update from GavsWeatherVids, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.